Architectural Builder's Supply is pleased to present you with this recording of the technical question that is listed in the title of this video.
This call may be monitored and recorded for quality assurance.
What do you want to go over today?
You know, I bounced around a couple ideas, ricks and pivots, like we talked about earlier, but this arrow thing is up on my screen. I just studied it a bit,
Yeah.
so I think we should go over that. I pulled up on page 100. You know, I reviewed, model numbers and function. You know, the big thing that jumps out to me, the product code is a 3880 space SL08, and I'm having trouble finding that the 08 portion, seeing if that actually calls out everything that we need. And now I'll be quiet.
Yeah, so all exit device so let's start over. So with Arrow is an old lock company, and in Chicago, if there wasn't Schlage installed, it very likely would have. It's a company that goes way back. The issue with Arrow, when they were bought by ASSA ABLOY, I was literally told by tech support for Medico there. Medico, if you call for Arrow key support, you're going to talk to the Medico people. I think, so I was trying to find information out about a keyway, an Arrow keyway, and I mean, there's nothing published. And the Arrow guy, the guy at Medico, was like, yeah, they threw all this stuff in the dumpster, and we were trying to reach in and grab all of it out. And I'll tell you this, that's not the first time I've had someone in tech support say those same words to me. It happened at Rixon as well.
Really?
Where Greg Rixon, what was his last name? Wells? Mike Wells, not Greg. Okay. Mike Wells, he was an engineer at Rixon forever, and when they moved out of Franklin Park, which, coincidence, I grew up very close to their factory. I have driven past it countless times as a child. He says they just threw all that. When they relocated Rixon down to North Carolina, it was just bushel loads going in the garbage, and he was trying to pull it all out. And I've been able to get from him over the years like a scanned 1973 cut sheet. So,
do we think this was it like intentional or just cleaning up? Just out of curiosity?
They were moving, and the people throwing this stuff out didn't realize that it would be important to someone. There may only be 3 people that would find it of interest, but I have an ever-growing catalog library of archival catalogs, and my crown jewel is the 1936 Schlage, and it's in mint condition, and that puppy cost me probably $300.
Oh, wow.
So, but I have it scanned. I've got it scanned so everyone in the world can see it, which is normal. I mean, I buy these catalogs, and then I have the team over in Poland scan them so the world can see them. So all this stuff gets dumped out because they don't realize, and trying to find information on this keyway, they were like, it's basically been thrown away. It doesn't exist anymore, and they don't know. Now, in the world of locksmithing, true locksmiths, they can kind of operate outside of the need for documentation because these guys are just really smart. The bottom line is, with Arrow, it's not as it has. Since when I started in 1990, their catalog was pretty well formed, but their product line has degraded over time because ASSA has Sargent and Corbin Russwin and Yale and Arrow. So they have so many lock properties that I believe Arrow has been turned into like just the import stuff. So the development of the catalog has degraded. But as we look in the catalog, all catalogs for manufacturers, and especially exit devices, they're really the same kind of baloney in terms of if you know how to navigate one, you know how to navigate all of them. So a tip that I want to throw out there really quick is whenever you see 08, that's a tip-off as to the function, and that generally means storeroom. So what that means, a storeroom is going to be a lock that's a handle that's always rigid, and the only way you can get in with a key. The key will retract the latch only, and when you remove the key, it remains locked. So it's a tip-off to me that what they're doing on the trim is a storeroom function. So that tells me a little bit about it.
Okay.
Now, the part numbers we have from Arrow in the site, they literally go back to 2001, 2002, 2003. And I don't have an Arrow catalog that goes back that far. And what we would have been doing is adding Arrow, a la whatever vendor we were getting it from. So we absolutely have part numbers that you're not going to find in the catalog, which is where the problem is, because this guy's like, I want to make sure I'm ordering the right stuff. So what you see in that 2014 catalog, or whatever it is, at the top, 3000 series exit devices, premier product. So what you see different about all of them is basically the prefix. You've got 3700, 3800, 3900. Mm-hmm. So you can see the different type of exit devices there. The 3800, I wouldn't have called it that. I would have called it the 3700 because the rim devices are most common. Then your surface vertical rod, and then your mortise exit devices. And it has everything to do with where the latch is located. So we've got a 3800. Well, I would be okay with calling it, well, it's a 3800 series, but why Arrow calls it 3880? I'm actually tempted to say that 2014 catalog, if that's what it is, yeah, I'm tempted to say that's a typo and that it should say 3800.
I think so too. Awesome. I appreciate you confirming that, because that's the only way it makes sense.
Yeah, because we've got an old school part number, and the nomenclature of their other devices is 3700, 3900. Now, what's interesting though is you got pricing from vendors that they were calling it out 38-88.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, okay. So it could have been that was a typo at one time, but I think what actually happens is it's a 3800, and then that 88 is certainly going to be a reference to the trim, is just what it's going to be. So the key with a lot of this stuff is the price list. The price list is very often more important than the catalog itself, because the price list is what's kept up to date, at least on an annual basis. The problem, and the reason I'm going through all this is because this applies to everyone, every manufacturer. So when I'm in the most current price list, they are literally calling it a 38-88. So
for the actual model, or because it looks like down below in the catalog, it literally calls out the 88 as the function. Yeah,
right, and I'm seeing that as well. So what we're trying to do is to convert what we asked them for to what is actually needed. So we're starting with our part number 3800 SL08. So in the 2014 catalog, if you scroll down to page maybe 110, it is 106. 106.
Okay.
So you're going to see in the exit device function table.
I see it. There we go. Okay.
Yeah. And actually, look at the exit device type table above. They don't call it 3888. They call it 3800. So, and if I were to call Arrow and ask for tech support, they would probably say, we just don't know. All that stuff was thrown away. So
now it makes sense. Yes.
We see where 3800 is coming from, and then you see where the 08 comes from. And
interesting.
Okay, so I actually earlier said the opposite of what is correct in terms of the function.
Okay.
And I noticed that about 2 minutes ago. So we've got a 3800. We know it's a rim. You want to call it 3888? God bless. So our part number is SL08. So SL is going to be the trim, and it's probably going to be a reference to, the lever. It's just called SL is what they're calling it.
Okay.
Now, in the 08, in that exit device function table, entry by knob lever. Outside key locks, unlocks the knob or the lever. So that tells me it's not a storeroom, but it's what would be called a classroom function. Okay. And the idea of that is, think of a auto repair shop, and the guy's got an exit device on his customer service door. The owner gets to work, he puts his key in, and he puts that trim in a state of being unlocked. So all day long, customers can come and go in and out. The outside lever is operable. Every time you rotate it, you pull the latch back. At night, when he goes home, he puts his key, turns it the opposite way, and that locks the outside trim to where now it's rigid. So the client clearly wants a 3800 rim device. They want an SL trim in the 08 function, so they can leave it unlocked. Now, what 88 exit device function 08. So on page 106, they have the how to order table, and it's not clear to me how that changes, except it might become, this is what it is. So you want a 3800, but it's a 38 and then 88, because you want an 8 function. And my guess is if you wanted the storeroom, which back to the exit device function table, that's an 03, where it says key removable only when trim is locked. My guess is it would be an 83 function. And you'd want to call Arrow and say, hey, listen, I want a 3800 rim device. If I call it 88, I know it's classroom. But what do I do when it's a storeroom? Is it 83? You might want to confirm that. That would be a great thing. You don't have to. I'm going to, because now my curiosity is. Okay. I'm going to determine if that's proper, how to call that, because it's not clear to me in the catalog. Hang on. 3888A. 38 08 on a 48. It's an 08 function. Yeah, there's more to the story. Okay. There's more to the story. So let me call Arrow. I'm going to call you right back. I have to know before I can go on. I can't be talking using it's probably this. I'll call you right back.
Okay, sounds good. Talk soon. Bye.
Architectural Builders Supply hopes you have enjoyed this program. Architectural Builders Supply is pleased to present you with this recording of the technical question that is listed in the title of this video.
This call may be monitored and recorded for quality assurance.
I'm doing well. Yourself?
Awesome. May I ask you a question?
Sure.
I'm having trouble understanding the Arrow nomenclature on the 3000 series exit devices. A 3800 or a 38, so 3700, 3900. Why is the rim device a 3880 and not just a 3800? Do you know why? Meaning, am I missing something? Why it's not just that same structure?
Let me take a look. Off the top of my head, I don't have a real good answer for you. I'm not 100% sure why the part numbering scheme is the way it is.
Don't go down that rabbit hole. Well, it was more of a curiosity, but because I know you guys don't have access to every possible historic printed document from Arrow.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's true.
Yeah. So, okay, so I want to do a 3880 or 3800 series, whatever, and I want to do it with an '08 function. So the catalog tells us, or the most current catalog that I have tells us, that would be a 3888, a 38 by 88. If I wanted a storeroom or an '03 function, does that become 38 by 83?
Let's just double check this. So storeroom would become the 3883, yes.
Oh, okay, cool. And how do you see that? Is it in the where would I see that, if anywhere?
I'm looking at it in the price book. The price book's the kind of the most coherent Arrow information that I have. And yes, it does show it's panic device with trim, and it's the 38-83, and that's the storeroom.
Are you April of 2013 by any chance?
Let me see what my date is on this thing. Effective April 2023.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so that's perfect. I'm actually looking at a 2013 price list. Where did I get that? So, okay, it actually is listed that way in the 10-year-old price list, so that it does become a 3883. What is the how does SL work into it? That's a reference to the lever design by Arrow, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And that would be the lever design on the trim. So if you see the 38-88, 38-83, 8A, and the 82, those all have specific functions. And the function's really going to be in the trim, not in the device.
Right.
Right. So you do want to call out the lever there because you're ordering both device and trim in that part number.
Yeah, I see. It makes sense. Okay. It's an SL if it's a lever trim. It's an SS if it's a pull, or an SN if it's pull. You qualify that.
Right.
Okay. Awesome. Oh, and I see. Okay. So the nomenclature is the same structure for the 37 and 39. Just for some reason, it's 388 rather than 380. Who cares? All right, now I understand. So thanks for taking my call. I appreciate you clarifying that for me.
Yeah, of course. You have a good one.
Thank you, sir. Bye-bye.
Bye now.
Architectural Builders Supply hopes you have enjoyed this program. Architectural Builders Supply is pleased to present you with this recording of the technical question that is listed in the title of this video.
This call may be monitored and recorded for quality assurance.
So let's talk about. So my theory for the last.
I'm having a little. Sorry, not to cut you off. I'm not able to pull that document up. Is the password different on that one that you sent me? I mean, I hate to do that in the chat, but.
Well, it doesn't. It actually the catalog and price list you have actually work just fine.
Okay.
In terms of, so I questioned why they had an 3880 in the part number compared to the surface vertical rod or the mortise devices, and he didn't know. And we, and I said, yeah, I know you guys don't have access to all the historical data. He's like, that's really true. So why it's 3880? Nobody knows. So let's just go with it.
Okay.
Now, my theory of, do you have an Arrow price list open?
No, but I can get one open.
Yeah, go ahead and open.
Let's see here. April 2023 price list.
Oh, awesome.
There we go.
Go to the 65th page of the document, which is page 63.
Okay.
Okay. So, as we said earlier, the price list is always, what's going to be most current and most to the point. And my theory of 88 becoming 83 if it was a storeroom, well, that's correct. So if you look on page 63, which is the 3880 series.
Okay. Looking at it.
Yeah, so you've got the top third, it's got classroom function. Less SL lever trim. Okay, so it's a 3888 is what the part number of the exit device is going to be. And that very likely could refer to how, well, it doesn't affect the function of the head case, what's happening in the, what's on the inside of the door, that hardware. All the function is happening in the trim itself. So if you look below to the left where the table that's there is panic device with trim. So you've got you'll see it says panic device with trim. Immediately below it, it says SL, and then it's got a 2 superscript. SL trims are not available in 32D or 32, meaning satin or polished stainless. You can only get satin chrome or polished chrome. And then it has, to the right of that, it has 2 columns of finishes. The list price is different depending on the finish. Okay.
Yes.
Now to the left of 3888 SL, you've got classroom. Immediately below that, as I thought, that 88 becomes an 83 when your function changes. And it goes to an 8A when it's passage or 82 when it's dummy.
Okay.
So now, why SL? That was the question I asked. Well, SL is actually the trim design. That's a lever trim with an escutcheon. And you can go to the Aero catalog and look, and you'll find a picture of the SL trim. Now, immediately below those 4 entries, you see SS pole trim. And then below that is SN pole trim and SB and SP pole trim. And you'll note the SL changes in every instance. So you've got a 3800 series device. The next two, the 38, the next 2 digits are absolutely the function. And then after that, the letters that you put will be what the trim looks like. Is it an escutcheon with a lever? Call it an SL. If it's an SS, a pole, what does an SS look like? An SS, SS. Well, I don't see it in the catalog I'm looking at, but if you needed a passage, or a dummy, let's say, it's going to look like the 8A, which is basically just a plate that's going to be there. So, the design, what year is this book I'm in? This is, okay, hang on. I'm looking at a 2014 product catalog. Let me look. 3880. I want to see if the 2022 catalog does a better job of showing the trims.
I pulled one from one of our vendors. It was a 2020, and it had barely anything in it. It was only 38 pages.
Yeah, well, that's Aero. I mean, that's the state of Aero. So exit device function back to page 106 of the catalog. It says entry by trim, like an 08 is entry by knob or lever. Okay, so that's not going to be an escutcheon, would be my guess. That's actually going to be just a round rosette, and that is going to look like the trim that you'll see in the catalog. 106. Yeah, that's probably going to look just like the lever with a rosette, which they have listed as the... they don't even show us. It's hard to know what you're getting when they don't show you.
I see now why you prepped me with arrow through everything in the garbage at the beginning.
Yeah, because it's guesswork.
Yeah.
But with enough research, you kind of end up getting to it.
Okay.
Yeah, they actually don't really show us what that trim looks like. But based on the functions, the exit device function, an 08 is going to be entry by knob or lever. Okay, fine. Entry,
I
no.
I think I see it on page 110. Exit device trim.
Yeah, 110. Let's look. Oh, beautiful. So beautiful. Perfect.
Perfect. Awesome.
Exactly what you needed. So when you see you've got an SL, it's going to be a lever with a discussion. And when you go to page 111, now you're seeing the SP
Yeah.
and the SN and the
Perfect.
SS. So now you know what the sucker's going to look like on the outside. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's beautiful. That's what you found.
Awesome.
So you know that you're getting a 38, what I'd like to say a 3800 series rim device, a 38, and then your function's going to be 88, and then your trim is going to be SL. So you know what 38 means. That means rim. You know what 88 means. That means classroom. You know what SL means because you just showed me where the page was in the catalog. And then after that, if you're going to properly detail the part number of an exit device, you're going to include the strike that's going to be used. And that's listed in here for sure somewhere. It is actually, and it'll be listed in the product data what the standard strike is for the 3880 series. You're going to list not only the hand, not only the door thickness, the reference to the fastener package, you're going to reference the width of the door. You're going to reference the manufacturer. So it would be something like rim exit, so your part number, you have to write this down because I can send it to you, but it would be rim exit device with exterior trim, 38 by 88 by SL by S24, and that's possibly the rim strike. I'm not sure that it's the correct one. By 3 foot, that's the width of your door. And if it was a vertical rod, you would say 3/0, you'd say width and height. Then you would say 1 3/4 thick door by standard fastener package by 630, by right hand reverse by 630 dash arrow lock. That would be a good part number that everybody would understand.
Okay.
So
what about, if I may interject, we referenced the SL trim, but we didn't reference the function of it. Is that partially because we're calling it out in the device, the 88?
No, you did. You did when you called out 88.
Perfect.
Now,
okay, yeah, that would be the device for the door. Makes sense.
If it was me, I would just call it, 08. I don't know why they call it 88, because in their exit device function chart, it's called out as 08. But they're calling it 88, and that's somehow that stray 8 got stuck in the part number. There's clearly logic, but the guy who came up with it's probably been retired for 25 years. I would call it a 38 by 08 or a 38 by 03, but they're telling us call it 3888 or 80.
Yeah.
And that's probably got something to do with moving away from a prior part number. They may have had 08 trim at one point, and they discontinued that because they got a new vendor to make the trim for them, but they had to call it something else.
Makes sense. Okay. Very good. There's all the pieces starting to come together.
So the question is, what did the client ask you for? What did the client's client say they needed?
He called out our part number that's on the website. Let me get back to that order, which is the 3880 SL08.
Okay, so we're gold. I mean, when we built that 20 plus years ago, that's certainly the part number that our vendor had. Maybe they had it wrong. But we can absolutely extract from that what the client wants. So my opinion is you go to the client and say, tell me what your client's asking for, and you're going to verify compliance with the request based on the part number you're using. Because if you give them 3888 SL, blah, 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 well, you might as well just give them your PIN code as well, too.
Understood.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
So,
very good
exhibits
recap.
next week?
Yes, absolutely.
Awesome. I do love me some Ricks and Pivots. All right,
I know you do. I tell everyone it's your middle name, so.
It's my legal middle name.
I tell everybody that before I transfer a call. So, yeah, awesome. All right, thanks a lot, Rich. Until next time.
Bye. Architectural Builders Supply hopes you have enjoyed this program. Again, thank you for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, please click thumbs up, please subscribe, and maybe even send the video to someone that you know. Thank you.